Go ahead.
I think that like all this stems to the exclusivity of voting rights in the U.S.
100%.
Any other Western democracy, it's not hard to vote. It's a holiday to vote.
Right.
There's a rank order system
Sure.
to vote. So like,
Yeah,
you don't
ranked choice voting
the
is
person you
is
like
what we
doesn't
need.
have to win, but you can still not throw away your vote. Like these are all critical voting rights access stuff.
Sure.
And it all kind of like it's intersectional, right? Like this is all about poverty. This is all about
100%.
ableism. This is all like, and I'm fully guilty of this. Like I'm a white cis hetero man, and I'm in a room talking about abortion. Like I feel that there's a lot of intersectionality in what you get out of your healthcare based on what you look like and where you came from. And the unfortunate thing about America is that it is not a right.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
Like
And that just goes to the point that I was making right now about like, what did the right want? Okay, the right wants to ban abortion. The right wants to ban same-sex marriage. The right wants what it wants, right? So how are they going to do that? They're never going to, they wanted that 40 years ago. They wanted that 50 years ago. That is a fact. The conservative policies since Reagan have not changed. They have not changed. And Reagan, for as much as he gets praised for whatever it is, he was a fuck shit of a president. and I can tell you that confidently because Reaganomics affected my neighborhood specifically. So it's like really near and dear to my heart, but they haven't changed. They just haven't changed at all. They've wanted the same things, but how do they get there? They don't get there by being as loud as possible about it and saying like, oh, look. They don't get there. They hush their mouths and they say, how can we get them to not go out and vote as much? So they gerrymander. So they redline. So they slowly inch their way. Okay, is voting good? Let's stop them from voting a little bit, just a little bit. And so they get a little bit done. Oh, let's stop them from doing just a little bit. And then
let's change county lines and
right, they'll
close
change county lines and they'll do it. A case in point example is Dan Crenshaw's political fucking block in Houston, Texas, of who he represents. You can go all the way, fuck yourself, all the way. And I said, but for the record, this is not a podcast that is affiliated with anybody. We're not losing any endorsementships. I pay for this shit all on my own. You ain't canceling me. Go fuck off all the way.
I thought we were sponsored by Modelo.
Yeah, I wish.
Carbach. You see the nice little Carbach sign in the background.
We just like beer because we're degenerates and that's our names. but still, you can get this work and you can go fuck all the way off. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking ridiculous. It is ridiculously insane what you represent.
You're telling me that's not representative of the city of Houston?
Oh, hell to the fuck no.
Literally.
Oh, God, it pisses me off so much. But that just goes to the point. The right is so strategic about what they want. What do you want? We want this. Okay, it's going to take 30 years, and we're going to have to do it this way, this way, this way, this way, and this way. And that's my biggest critique of the democratic progression is we want instant gratification, but we're not willing to make long-term political movements. We're not. My hope for 2016, whenever Trump got elected, is I wasn't surprised. I think to be more of a generalist, I think more white people were really devastated. But from my experience, brown and black people were like, I mean,
president.
We're not surprised, you know? So we weren't that surprised. The only thing that happens at that point is I was really hopeful that his win will create. Better say it like this: I would have been perfectly okay with a Trump presidency had that positioned and reinvigorated the left to create a long-term political movement, not just a big win in 4 years.
Right.
Like a true long-term political movement where we can see change in 30 years, change in 40 years. That's what I would have really enjoyed. I'm like, man, this is so crazy that it just might be the spark. And to be fair, Biden did win. We did get the Senate back. We only have one branch of government that leans conservative. So in theory, we did go out to some degree. But I was hoping that we would really mobilize the coalition of the Democratic Party into a long-term political movement, and we're still on, especially when it comes to established Democrats, they're still on some fuck shit. So,
well, I think we hit that to bring it back to what you're saying, the lesser of two evils situation again, where everybody was like, I don't really want Biden in this seat either.
Yeah, I don't like Biden either.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they get fatigued by the decisions that they have to be forced through because they don't have a winning candidate in their mind.
Right. And I agree with you. Ranked choice voting would be phenomenal. You know, people talk about a third party all the time. Ranked choice voting for me, two things can happen that would make me the happiest person in the world: Citizens United getting thrown the fuck away, and ranked choice voting whenever it comes to every candidate, gubernatorial races, mayorships, school council meetings. I don't give a fuck. Ranked choice voting all the way from top to bottom. So that would make me really happy. If I had to add a cherry on top, I'd probably, I don't know. I'd probably make every politician earn the average mean of the people they represent and see how fast did things change. But after all, we're just a whole bunch of fucking degenerates having conversations, not like we know anything. So that being said, I'm hoping that come November, people show up. Please go and show up. And I don't care if you're in Houston, chances are we're going to be blue, but do it anyway. Do it anyway off of principle.
Right. We'll be the only part of Texas probably that's blue.
Like, you know, do it anyway, because Beto O'Rourke, and I have to shout you out, Beto. He was here yesterday. Nice. Did you go?
No, I was still in El Paso.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it's where he's from, so you were there in spirit.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to go, but I was working. He was here yesterday. Oh my God, I'm not religious, but bless your heart, my friend. From first candidacy to governorship to, you keep losing left and right, and your passion is still there. Man, like, I give you so much props, and I don't align with him politically on a lot of things, but given between him and that fucking turd Ted Cruz, I 100% urge you to go and vote for Beto come November, please. Because I'm sorry, Abbott, because he ran against Ted Cruz before and lost barely, but
Ted Cancun.
Yeah, Ted Cancun. But anyway.
That is, the reality though, is if we can just abort Abbott, like that would be such an improvement
fantastic
for Texas, regardless, I think, of who ends up stepping into that seat.
So please, guys, if try to make it, I'm a little more hopeful of that. I don't know if this is my if I'm being disillusioned here, if I'm just being delusional. But I have seen even people that traditionally are conservative on my feed be really outraged by this leak.
Yeah.
I've seen people that are conservative Republican through and through that are like, don't tell me what to do with my body. Women that often align themselves with politically conservative Republican ideology say this is fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Like that's not it. I've seen, I think I just saw a video this week of Dave Portnoy, the owner of Barstool Sports, which is essentially, ideologically speaking, they kind of fall in the camp of anti-wokeism, kind of like camp, Yeah. And he was like flat out like, if this is what's really going to happen in July, then I'm voting Democrat. Like on his platform, and very passionately saying like, if this is what's going to happen, hands down, I don't care what happens. I don't care if I lose money on taxes. I vote Democrat. This is a really big fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's not just. It's not just like a women's rights issue.
It's not.
It's not just that. This is a really, really big deal. Yeah.
And I will say that there are constitutions, even so far as the continent of Africa, right? The Republic of South Africa protects gay marriage in their constitution in all 11 or 12 national languages, and abortion. These are things that it's rare that they are not protected and codified in law in a democracy. And so it supersedes, like you're saying, this is a human rights issue. Yeah. It is not this as a doctor and as a public health person, yes, this is important. Yes, this has validity. Yes, this will affect people's lives. Yes, this is effectively, if this is codified by the Supreme Court, will be a medical procedure that they have told us we can't do, right? They can't tell me or a surgeon not to do an appendectomy. They can't tell your dentist not to pull out a tooth. This is a huge intrusion in a lot of things, but fundamentally it is a human rights issue.
Yeah.
Not just women, but everyone.
Just in general.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of people want to focus on it being like this feminist, movement or this only women's rights issue. And it's not, because there are plenty of women that have, are men that have uteruses. There are, we have a whole spectrum right now, and it is just based on human rights. And if you flip things on their head and you try and pretend that this is just a women's rights issue, if you flipped it all, in reverse, and a woman was telling a man what to do with his body, like in any platform at any time, it would get smacked down. And so there's just, I think, it's the whole functionality of, again, coming back to bodily autonomy. Like, I should not be able to tell my partner what he can do with his body. I should not be able to tell you what you can do with your body. Nobody should be able to tell me what I can do with my body.
Sure.
It's just, we should be able to make those statements for ourselves.